What's up guys, this is Freakish Workshop and welcome to Foam Crafting 101. I've been a cosplayer since about 2018. These are just a few of the cosplays that I've made out of foam. I am by no means a master foam crafter, however, I do know a few things, and what I do know, I offer to you in this series. I'm going to take you from the very beginning, tools and materials, to the very end, painting and finishing a foam project. Along the way, I will be providing tips and tricks on how to up your foam crafting game, or just simply teaching you the art of foam crafting. Regardless of where you're at, welcome. Let's get crafting. Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Foam Crafting 101. This episode's another short one, so you're welcome, I guess. Anyway, we're going to be talking about cutting out foam, and I know it's a simple topic, right? It should be straightforward. However, I still feel like in this series I need to hit every nail on the head. In a similar way to last episode where I talked about how to choose your materials, I think it's also worth mentioning that how, where, and with what you're going to cut out your foam is just as important in a foam crafting project. Now, as mentioned in previous episodes, I use both a craft knife and an X-Acto knife in different ways for different foams, which we're going to get into later. But before we do any cutting, you'll need to draw out your paper patterns onto the foam, or if you're not using templates, simply draw a shape out onto your foam. If you're a beginner, spread each shape out, leaving a good amount of space between each shape so you can carefully cut it out without wrecking the other shapes in case you slip or overcut. Now you can do this by hand, which is how I do it, or there are cutting tools, such as those Cos-Tools cells that can assure you're cutting the same degree every time. While I don't actually own, and I've honestly never used any Cos-Tool product, and they're not paying me to talk about them, people I trust who are amazing foam crafters swear by these tools, which is why I'm recommending them to you. I'm also not being paid by Cos-Tools to say this, so there's a link below, and I recommend you go take a look, as they are very helpful tools. Moving on. Another incredibly helpful trick that I learned a little late into my crafting game was to deal with any outcuts or inward cuts first, especially after getting a brand new blade onto your knife. Like I said, extra blades are readily available either online or at dollar stores or home hardware stores. You can get a lot of them for relatively cheap, though. I definitely recommend getting some extra cases of extra blades for both the craft knife and the X-Acto knife, and that way you'll never run out. Back to the point. In my experience, cutting at angles actually dulls the blade a little bit more. There's more chance of the tip of the blade breaking off at an angle, and so that's why I do it first, especially with a brand new sharpened blade. Then I go in for the straight cuts. You can fix straight cuts easier with sandpaper than at angle cuts, which is why I leave them till the last. Moving on. I believe that the kind of knife you use is also an important consideration. I use both a craft knife and X-Acto knife, but I use them to cut through different materials. I will use the craft knife more often as I tend to use thinner foam, usually 1 to 6 millimeter craft foam that isn't super high density, for example. However, for thicker foams, foam board, and even pink insulation foam or upholstery foam, a thicker blade, longer and wider grips allow for a deep, firmer cut, which is where you want to use an X-Acto knife. Now, I've seen both craft knives and X-Acto knives available at dollar stores. They're also readily available at home hardware stores and online, of course. Now, what is accessible and what is affordable to you, I will always recommend you do that first. I hope this video helped you in your foam crafting endeavors, and as always, happy crafting. Please like this video and subscribe to the channel for more cosplay content.